I think after we look at a few replays today, what I want to do as well is talk a little bit about this whole. There's a lot of people discussing today. At least I could see a lot of discussion today about NA versus EU, particularly from a crowd angle. Have you guys seen all that on Twitter? I'm sure it's on Reddit as well, but I didn't actually look yet. But yeah, I saw a lot of people giving their opinions on that. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. Hear what you guys think about crowd bias in particular. Just crowd bias, because I think we've talked a lot. Well, maybe analyst bias as well. We can talk about that, because I don't think there really is any caster bias in Rocket League. When casters are casting, I don't really hear any real bias. It's pretty much just on desk and the crowds. So I think SRG would have won their group if they were playing the same level as they did in Sweden. Yeah, if they were playing Sweden level, I don't see why not. I wasn't too impressed by the Group D level. Space Station definitely showed up big in the bracket against V1, but yeah, they didn't look too great in the group stage. Neither did Dignitas. Definitely caster bias during the SSG and Queso game. What was it? I didn't really hear the casting because I was in the venue. You don't really hear the casters in the venue. I've not had a chance to go back. I'll talk about this more later, but in reply to teams didn't get randomly booed, Queso booed for saying cocky stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I didn't really get that impression from myself from Queso. I've not gone back and watched the live stream to see how things came across on stream, but it didn't really seem to me that Queso were trying to play the bad guy. And actually, I didn't hear any booing until the grand final. Well, wait. There might have been a little bit of booing when Queso eliminated Space Station. I think there were some people booing when that happened, which is kind of weird. It's like, are they? Do they think that they could change the result by booing? Why are they booing? I heard some people booing when SSG lost. I was like, well, that's not exactly the right time to do that, is it? But yeah, there was definitely people booing during the breakage of a headlock, which is fine, and. Yeah, Torment. Yeah, did one as well. That was fine. But yeah, there was the only time that I thought like booing was really stupid is when Queso beat Space Station people. Not many, by the way. Just a few people booed. I was like, lol, what are they doing? And then when Queso did their walkout for the grand final, there were a lot of people booing. I'm like, why are they booing the walkout? Like, Queso didn't say anything. It wasn't like Queso said anything in the pre-game interview that was particularly trash talking. It wasn't like they said NA's trash, come and get us. they just like did a regular pre-match interview. Then they walk out and everybody in the crowd is like, actually no, we've had enough of this run's been pretty cool, but you know what, this is too much. They've got a step too far. They've made the final, that's enough. So they're like, boo. I was like, that's kind of sad. These kids are 15, 16 and they're getting booed by grown men. It's kind of sad to hear. And I can definitely say that because I would never, honestly, I would never, in EU, I would never boo an NA team, personally. They're coming over. They're flown across the Atlantic to come play some Rocket League. I would be like, come on. You got to show some appreciation. But yeah, there was one other time. I'm trying to remember the other one time I heard. There was definitely, I think maybe it was just that I can think of. But yeah, I'm aware that that's something that happens in NA sports. And by the way, I'll go into more detail on this later, but yeah, I talked to the Queso guys and they were just like, lol, who cares? You know, it didn't affect them. So this, it didn't actually do anything. This is more just a commentary on like, what do we want the Rocket League culture to be in person? Because I've seen a lot of people say in response to, like, some people have called out the NA crowd for booing Queso in particular, and a lot of people are responding to the call-outs by saying, well, actually, that's just a part of NA sports culture, and you're never going to stop that. Which I don't really agree with, because number one, it doesn't just happen in North America. Like, if NA sports are booing the opposition in the UK, like, you should hear some of the stuff that the UK crowds say to the opposition in football, aka soccer. Like some of the stuff that the crowds say are they're disgusting. Like the chants in Rocket League of season 5 in London were really really funny and they were really really wholesome. But I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff that I'm not going to even say some of the stuff that I've heard UK football crowds chanting. Straight up racism, straight up like disrespect to opposition players. Like that's beyond booing. That's just like a next level of toxicity. So that has no place in my opinion in Rocket League. And I'm not looking at EU and UK sports for inspiration on what to do with Rocket League crowds at all. Because some of the people who show up to these sports events are actually just messed up in the head, and they have nothing good to offer society. So when people tell me that you can't remove that, you can't teach people not to boo in North America, I'm like, well, actually you can, because I didn't hear anybody at Landon season 5 chanting anything disrespectful or like anything negative. They were all just like tongue-in-cheek funny chants, So the way that I look at season 5 Landon is a UK crowd taking the best bits of UK sports culture and applying that to a Rocket League event, but completely disregarding the bad bits, which are the really negative and horrible chants that people use at football stadiums. You didn't hear anything nasty about some NA players. So I look at an NA crowd booing in the same vein as that. If we look at Rocket League, you look at NA sports, okay, crowds are booing, who cares? But if you look at Rocket League, do we need to copy that? Do we need to do it just because it's what they do in sports? I don't think so. I wouldn't say so. I don't really think it's that entertaining. It's not that creative to just like boo a team on their walkout. It's like, oh wow, good job. Who thought of that? Like if I heard people do that if I hear that in Landon, in the spring major, I'll just be face palming. I'll be like, oh, come on, we're better than that. Like you won't get that. There's no shot that people are just gonna boo an NA team walking out to play Rocket League in London. It's not happening. They're just gonna sing. They're gonna come up with some funny chant and do that instead. Because it's not negative. It's more of a entertainment factor. Saying there's a lot of booing, honestly not very much. You were front row. There is definitely a lot of booing. In fact, I'd say there was just as many people booing as there were cheering when Team Queso did their walkout for the grand final. Like, I don't think we need to copy every aspect of sports and crowds in sports. And I really do think that we can cultivate a superior community than anything I've seen from sports. I really do. So yeah, when I hear people saying, there's nothing we could do about that, that's just not true. That's just not true. That's like Twitch streamers who say, oh, it's my chat, I've got no control over what they say. Like, nonsense. They cultivated that community. Take some responsibility. It's exactly the same, in my opinion. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about that later. I'm reading some comments right now, but we'll come back to this because I know it's a really interesting topic. I'd love to have an open table discussion with more people in the Rocket League community about this. Because really, as we come back to, that was our first live event with a crowd in over 2 years. Then we're going to have the second one and then the third one this summer. These early days are the days where we've got to shape what we want Rocket League to look like, what we want Rocket League live events to look like in the future. And, my personal, hope for future Rocket League events and for all Rocket League events is that, teams, regardless of where they're from, regardless of what background they have or location what region they're from, get shown equal respect and appreciation, and then people cheer louder for their own favorite team. That would be my default. My TLDR, ideal world, every team gets cheered for, but you can cheer louder for your favorite team. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but that's what I think the best world would be. Yo, Rise, what's up, man? If the casters didn't perpetuate any EU rivalry, fans wouldn't perpetuate it in response. Well, that's not the solution, though. The solution is not to just completely ignore the rivalry, because there literally is a rivalry. I'm doing good, Rise. I've just got back from London, so we're back on the grind immediately. No, I don't think we should ignore the storyline entirely because it is in fact relevant. The regions are all competing for automatic qualification for Worlds. It's literally something that regions and teams are competing for. EU versus NA and other regions as well. That's a real thing. It's part of the format this season. And it will never go away. And I think that in the desk and in the content segments, I think it's really, really fun. I mean, some people get really triggered by it, but honestly, I think in the desk segments and in the content pieces that happened for this event, EU versus NA was hilarious. I had a great time with it. But maybe there's a few things we could do differently as casters, analysts, hosts, etc., to try and remind everybody that we've got this rivalry and everybody wants their region to win, but let's not be disrespectful to the other teams at the same time. Try and find the balance. I mean, for me personally, I'm a lot more open to bias and getting into the nitty-gritty of EU versus NA and other rivalries like that, and even specific team rivalries. I'm a lot more open to doing that on the desk and in my content, but as soon as it comes to casting, I challenge anyone to find a clip of a really, really good NA goal that I've casted, and then a really good goal of from EU that I've casted, and show me the difference. Show me the difference in my reaction, because there really isn't one. I've practiced enough over the years to just not really I don't have a different response. I don't have to fake it. It is actually just my real reaction. I'm just excited for good Rocket League when I'm casting. That's what I'm doing. When I'm working, when I'm casting, I just want to see good Rocket League. I don't really care what region it is, what team it is. I'm just there to tell a story, enjoy myself, and hype up everything that happens that deserves to be hyped. But on the desk, I feel like it's a different role entirely. I think it's all about banter, content. It's not so much of a storytelling. Well, storytelling definitely, but it's not so much of a hype up every team kind of situation. So I do it very differently when I'm casting and when I'm on the desk. And that's exactly why I'm saying I think the crowd needs to also have a different vibe in certain situations if they want to hit every nail on the head. But yeah, sometimes casters will mess up and say something like "no" when a goal goes in against a team that they want to see win. They'll accidentally let their personal bias enter their casting. Whereas usually for me, a "no" would be a "whoops, somebody messed up" kind of situation. You never want to that's something you don't really want to do is say a no or a yes, a negative or a positive affirmation, because it's it's literally bias, or if I think the more obvious one or the more common mistake that casters sometimes make is tone. So if somebody said with a really, really big smile on their face, 0-second goal, we're going to overtime, and then somebody else this casting the same goal goes, 0-second goal, we're going to overtime, and they're just not smiling and they're devastated. You can hear it in their voice. It's the tone is everything as well, not just the content of what they say, but also the tone matters when you're casting. So it's something I've really tried over the years to make sure not to do differently depending on the team, and save it more for what kind of play just happened. I mean, if somebody's messing up, then yeah, maybe a negative tone is more sensible. But if somebody's popping off, why would you ever want to use negative tone there? You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, you guys have to remember that I'm not talking about this before I start. I'm just going to press play in a second, but final thing I want to say is I'm not talking and joining in this discussion to start a witch hunt on anyone. Literally every caster, every analyst, every person involved with making RLCS as good as it can be, none of them are trying to force their own personal biases, and none of them are trying to force their own personal preferences into the forefront. Everybody's trying to get better, everybody's trying to improve, everybody's constantly learning, and that's what makes Rocket League casters and Rocket League talent, in my opinion, so good. Literally no one has an ego. It might sound, nobody has a bad ego. So people are confident, but no one is just going in and saying, this is what I think, this is how we're going to do it. Everybody's constantly learning and discussing how to improve and what we can do better. And that's why Rocket League keeps on progressing. So yeah, I don't want to see any like witch hunts being started. That's not the purpose here. The purpose is just to talk about objective facts and stay away from trying to like tarnish anyone's reputation. KCRL 94, thanks to the gifted sub to Juice for his 2 month in a row. Welcome back, Juice. I got a chance to have a chat to J-Nap's dad after the game. Such a nice guy. Did you guys watch the after show death segment where J-Nap's dad gave a interview? And he gave like a really heartfelt message. How cool was that? And also like how awesome was it what he chose to say? Like if you didn't watch it, definitely go back last day after the grand final. The death segment, J-Nap's dad came up to talk to the desk, and he explained on well, actually I'm not going to spoil it, just go watch it. Really, really good message, really, really wholesome. Very, very powerful stuff. Very, very powerful stuff. Yeah, the pro player parents are honestly like the nicest people alive. They're super awesome. I'm sure you. I can't think of why you would mind me saying this, but when I was waiting at the when I was waiting for day one second series to start, I did the first touch podcast, or it wasn't a podcast, first touch pre-show on the Saturday, and then when I subbed off the desk for Boston Scott, who by the way is a legend. He did his homework and he really loves Rocket League. It's fantastic to see that. He really really did a great job on the desk, as well as just being an awesome character. But so after that I just hung about to talk to people. A lot of I don't know if any of you guys in chat were there, but a lot of people wanted to come and say hi, and one of the couples who came to say hi was Com's parents, and I was like, no, not because I didn't want to see them, but because I was like, oh no, they're gonna make me cry. And I've got makeup on. We're all wearing makeup for RLCS because they shine bright lights on us, and if you don't wear makeup, then you just look like death. So when I saw them coming up, I was thinking to myself, oh no, I'm gonna cry all over my makeup, and the makeup lady is gonna hate me. The makeup artist is gonna hate me. But the reason I was like, oh no, I'm gonna cry is because when Com got his I think it was when he joined V1, I didn't know his dad at this point. I'd never spoken to him, but he sent me a DM on Twitter just saying thank you for supporting my son's career and what was show matches and all that. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was a really, really out of nowhere message that I never thought of in my entire life. I was like, wow, you never think of that kind of stuff. You never ever think of that kind of stuff as a caster or a content creator. For some reason, like whenever I'm doing a show match online, like I'm only ever thinking of the actual like player. Like you forget that they've got parents watching, who are like watching all of their matches, watching all of their games, and rooting for them, and it's really awesome to see that support. So I'd never met the guy. I'd never met Com's parents, but they came walking over. I was like, oh, I know exactly who that is. I mean, it's really easy to know it's Com's parents because they got the V1 merch on, and they look so similar to Com. I was like, oh no, oh no, they're gonna make me cry. This is too wholesome. But I managed to hold it together, and it was an honor to meet them. Yeah, they're all so nice. They're all just far too kind. The whole Rocket League community far too kind. J-Nap's dad almost made you cry. Yeah, you could just cry though. You're probably good. You don't have to like try and preserve your makeup. We're all wearing like foundation. I think that's what it's called. I've never put makeup on myself, so I don't even know. Like the makeup artist just like putting makeup on us. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on. I just have to remember to not touch my face and not cry. Did I ever play Rocket League? I played 2 placement matches this season. I've been pretty busy, so I've not had much time to play. Falcon signed X SRG. Did they really? I didn't catch that one. Falcons are a really, really big org. Oh yeah, so they did. Wow. Oh, they made a video as well. I'm not gonna watch that right now in case it's like in case it's got music in it that's DMCA-able. But yeah, I'll link it in the chat if you guys want to go see it. Fender Strats, thanks for the 12-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Also, the real Car, thanks for the brand new Prime. And Strikers Mojo with 14-month Prime, welcome back. Swag Frog, thanks for 18-month tier 1. He said, so psyched to meet you, Lan. I was in the SSG hoodie on day 1 before the matches. Awesome to meet you, man. And anyone else in chat who met me at LAN, type 1. Let's see how many of you are here. J.Collins as well, thanks for 2-month Prime. There was actually just a ridiculous amount of people. It was insane. I've never seen this many people at Rocket League LAN who just know absolutely everyone. They know literally everyone in the scene. Like, this was by far the most like dense population of passionate crowds. How do you stop comparing yourself to others in better situations? What, you mean like how do you stop being jealous of what other people have? If that's what you mean, then I would say just focus on yourself. Try and like be a better version of yourself. That's what I try to do. I just compare me to the me of yesterday. No, not what you mean. Well, what do you mean? I mean, I thought that's what that meant. How do you stop comparing yourself to others in better situations? What else could that mean? Does that mean Falcons out qualify for Worlds? Yeah, Worlds wildcard. So the players own the spots in the current system. So yeah, they will. Hey, what's up, Sis? I'll see you in London, though. See you in London. Hope the boys are grinding. Now, guys, I said that I would that we would chat more about. You'll get on it. Nice. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, guys, I said that I would chat more about what do you call it? This whole like NA versus EU booing crowd, whatever else, bias conversation that's happening. But I actually do not have time. Those replays took a bit longer than I was expecting. But I promise we will talk about that on another stream. Maybe I'll get some special guests on and we can talk about that. What do you guys think? Would that be interesting? To get some special guests on the stream and we can talk about the whole conversation surrounding that topic. I think it could be really, really interesting. Which topic? It's a lot of people today on Twitter have been talking about, you know, I think the core of the conversation is, should booing be encouraged? Because it seems like some people are in the camp of saying booing is great, it makes things more interesting. Fans in live Rocket League events should boo the teams they don't like and cheer for the teams that they do like. And there's another camp who are saying booing is boring. It doesn't make anything more entertaining. Fans should cheer for everybody, but cheer the loudest for the teams that they like. That's the two like main stances I'm seeing. But there's obviously a lot of intricacies to that. I talked about that at the start of my stream. If anybody wants to go back and listen to it if you missed it. But I don't have any more time to talk about it right now. I'm gonna need to do that on another stream, possibly tomorrow. I'll see if I can get any special guests on the stream and we can maybe talk about that. Because there's got to be, in my opinion, there's got to be a line. I think we do need to talk about it. I think we've got to figure it out as a Rocket League community. I think we've got to figure it out because there's definitely a line somewhere. We just got to decide where the line is. We got to decide how strict that line is. Is it straight? Is it curvy? We'll have to wait and find out. I don't have all the answers, but I'll definitely try and help find them. Yeah, long story short, yes, some people were booing outside of quote unquote Rule 1. And yeah, nobody was really bothered by it, but that's not to say that it couldn't have negative implications in the future. Yeah, type in chat if you think anybody would be interested to get on that for that discussion. Type in chat. I can maybe reach out to some people. No, not type 1 in chat. Type in chat the names of people. You guys love typing 1. NA greater than EU, noobs. Sorry, sis. Can you say that louder? I didn't hear you all the way back in lower round 1 there. I couldn't hear. I was casting the grand final. I couldn't quite catch what you said. Boston. You guys want to hear Boston first touch? I'll see what I could do. I'll see what I could do, chat. Right before you all disappear. Let me see who's streaming.